Let's go.
I'll get us going here, and we'll get started. So
Let's do it.
this has been something I've wanted to do for a while since I first met you. Last year actually. So for those of you who don't know who this is Kevi Morse. He was introduced to me through a friend through our church.
Yes,
And you'll hear a lot about him and what he's doing here in just a second. But just want to first just thank you for being a part of this. And you're up here, I think, just on a gig that you got going on this weekend back up in Michigan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Taking the time, greatly appreciate it. No time is.
Hey, it's an honor to be a part, man. You're doing something great here, and I'm grateful to be a part of what you have going too, man. So
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So do me a favor for the audience, for everybody else, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing.
So my name is Kevi Morse. I am a recording artist. Man, can I say actor now?
Yeah, I think you can.
I can say actor
told me
now.
at lunch, man. That's sweet.
I got I guess I got acting under my belt. I'm a family man. I love God, and I just love seeing people come together. Whether it's through music, good time, or whatever it is, I love seeing people come together for that. So
that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I got introduced to you through our friend Tori, mutual friend, and we were putting on an event at our church for our youth, and we were looking for an artist to come in, and she was just like, "I've got a guy for you." And
come on,
okay,
shout
sweet.
out to her.
That's right. So, yep, Tori, nice job, thank you.
Appreciate you.
And so I said, "Yeah, hook me up. Let's get on a Zoom. Let's get to know him a little bit." And from the get go, I mean, just I knew you were the real deal. And it was awesome. And so we asked you to come in, and you did fantastic. You gave us a concert, but not only did you give us a concert, but you interacted with the kids. I mean, they're still talking about how you're playing basketball with them in the gym, hanging out. And so
kids were hooping on me, man. I ain't got it how I used to have it. And man, yeah, they were hooping.
That's right. Yeah. And so had multiple people after it, because you got to do some stuff on our Sunday morning, which was awesome. Let me tell you, bringing some hip hop into old school Baptist church here was just loving every minute of that. And so it was great, but had nothing but good feedback. Everybody's like, there was a consistent line of like, this guy's the real deal.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I love that. And so that made me want to get you in this space.
Yes, sir.
And just talk about that, because you meet artists. I mean, I've been to concerts, I've been to that kind of stuff, and you meet the person, and sometimes you're a little disappointed. And so you being the real deal is awesome. So
I appreciate it.
I want to hear your story a little bit, and so if you could take us back to little Kevi growing up, give us a little bit of context of your background, growing up, that kind of stuff, and into where you're at now.
Got you. So, man, growing up, I was a basketball player. I love sports. I was a very active kid, loved by my parents. For me, I kind of got into, a little trouble growing up as a teenager, kind of not in the street life, but what the street life was kind of doing in a way. So, yeah, we kind of went through some tough times. I wanted to make money, and just kind of give you the story to skim it up. And this is how I found Christ. My few people in the neighborhoods, they put guns in my hands. My family, I wanted to bring money to the table for my family. And I met a guy named Mikello, who ultimately opened up the door to a studio. And the same guy ended up selling a gun to through this. He gave me unlimited studio time. Same guy that happened with, bro, was the same guy that gave me the gospel.
Really? So hold on. So the guy that gave you a gun.
I sold him a gun.
You sold this guy a gun. Yeah. He ended up giving you the gospel.
Yep. It was. He was going through some. I was a good kid, but I just wanted to kind of, I want to make money. But same guy, bro. End up giving me the gospel. I would go over there on my moped, talk about cars I don't have, talk about, all this superficial stuff. And this guy was like, Kevi, you need to get your life right with God. I'm like, bro, you switched up fast.
Where'd you come from?
Where did you come from? And I forever thank Mikello. Mikello is one of those. He's one of those. I don't know what to call it, but he's a pivotal point in my story.
Key people in your life.
He's a key component in my story, and I love Mikello. Love you, bro. If you ever see this, thank you.
That's awesome. So where did you grow up? What area?
I grew up Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
Yep. So came down here for basketball. We went up there. My AAU team tried out. We tried out for Michigan State.
Okay.
Didn't make it. Tried out for this school called Lake Michigan College on the way back.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yep. Yeah,
yep.
And they offered me on the spot, so
All right.
that was kind of like my intro into like Michigan. So
it's too bad Michigan State. You could have a quality guy.
Man, I wanted to be at Michigan State, man, and I know I didn't make the cut, but I became.
That's tough stuff.
Yeah, I say I'm from Michiana.
There you go.
You know, because Michigan, Indiana raised me, and Michigan embraced me. Yeah.
Good thing you're not from Ohio, though.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Ohio,
kind of.
We love y'all, man. Like we toured Ohio, but yeah, we can't be. It's. That's a whole nother combo right there.
Whole nother country.
That's a whole nother. Yeah.
That's so cool. So you're from Indiana. You end up being up here. Finding a place to play basketball.
Yes, sir.
And so you were playing basketball. How long did you play in college? Was it 4 years? Or?
I did. I did 3 years at Lake Michigan. It's a junior college, but I ended up redshirting 1 year, and then I made my way up to Grand Rapids. I got a scholarship at Aquinas, so I went to Aquinas for maybe a semester. So I went from like one of the top players to getting injured, and kind of, man, just sitting the bench, riding the pond, and I walked in my Coach Hammer's office. It's like, Coach, man, maybe this ain't for me. So I used my degree from Lake Michigan College, and I went to go be a teacher. I was a parapro.
Okay.
So I dealt with kids with behavior issues.
Yeah.
Coach from Cornerstone was like, Kevi, what are you doing being a teacher? You still got years of eligibility.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah. So yeah, that's how I ended up at Cornerstone.
So did you play basketball for Cornerstone as well? Did you really?
I played for Cornerstone.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. Real fast. I was in and out, but Cornerstone is.
And how'd you guys do there?
It was cool. Yeah, I had to start on a JV squad, and I got a few looks in the varsity, but varsity was so stacked with great players.
Yeah, people that have probably been there a while.
Yeah, but we was crushing it on JV too.
That's cool. Yes. That's cool. It's one of my biggest regrets growing up is not getting into sports. I went to a school where it was kind of the same way, but in high school where it's like a Class A school, like really good athletes. And the chances of just a walk-on guy like me coming to play and never played before is difficult. And I was just too intimidated. But like looking back,
you wish you would have got into it. Yeah.
It's just one of those things that I enjoy it so much now. Like if I can pick up basketball, I'm always there.
That's
if I can pick up some flag football or whatever, I'm loving it. But
that's it.
That love didn't come till later in life.
Come on, man. Yeah, hey, only if we can rewind, man.
Yeah.
But I see, you got kids you can, push those passions into now, speak life into, and see them go off and do it. So it's still, you're still able to do it.
One of the things I try and instill in them is that I'm not going to ever push you to do anything.
That's it.
But I don't want you ever be afraid to try it.
That's it.
And so try it and at least see if you like it or not.
That's a word. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're at Cornerstone. You've been playing basketball, and then so where does the music industry start to come into play there?
So the music was kind of panning out in the midst of all that. So if I can be honest, I was in class, but my teachers, I don't have the typical rapper story where they're like, my teacher never believed in me. They told me to get a real job. I don't have that story. My story is the complete opposite. My teachers believed in what I was doing. They said, Kevi, long as you get your work done, long as you handle business, you can go off. So if I can be honest, I was doing shows while being an active college student.
Really? Okay.
So I was balancing.
So you're working while you're getting your education.
I was working, and I kind of made a name for myself on campus as
So if I walked on the Cornerstone campus and said Kevi Morse, they'd know exactly.
I promise.
That's awesome.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they kind of got new staff and everything. Of course, new students, but I left an impact there. Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Cornerstone too. Man, I really enjoyed that school. And that's where I met my wife too.
That's so cool.
So
tell us about that. How'd you meet your wife? I'd love to hear the story.
So my wife's from South Africa, and she would always, she's always like, yo, Kevi, get your work done. She was on me. So
the good encourager,
kind of the annoying one sometimes.
Yep.
wives can be.
That all us men need, though.
Mm-hmm. So she wasn't my wife in college.
Mm-hmm.
She was my friend. Somebody I had a crush on, but and I knew she had a crush on me, but I still was like,
Mm-hmm.
big.
Yeah.
And I didn't almost commit to. I went through, a difficult little stretch with her, so I almost lost her. But I'm grateful that my wife is my wife now. So
That's so cool.
I love that woman.
I love stories about how people meet. There's
Mm-hmm.
always something cool about that.
Yeah.
So you finish up a Cornerstone, you start making a name for yourself there, and you start getting in the music industry. And so, what year did you get married to your wife?
I got married 20. Forgive me, wife. It was 2020. 2020. Yeah.
Gotcha. And what year did you graduate?
I graduated. 2017. Okay. But she didn't end up finishing.
Okay.
Yeah, so she has to go back because what had happened with us is we kind of got pregnant with Kingston.
Okay.
Yep. So, but that was before everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she kind of had to take some time off.
Yep.
So we're gonna get her back in the routine. But my wife's crushing it. She's a banker at Chase Bank. She's killing it.
And rumor has it she's got quite the voice because
amazing voice.
Another mutual friend of ours,
Yeah.
Todd and Kristen Chapman.
Yep.
I have coffee with Todd every once in a while, and Kristen was just telling me like she has got a voice.
She's the real. Yeah, worship was our thing. I always thought she was beautiful, but worship was our thing. Her worship was amazing, and it's so authentic. She sung with Chandler Moore from Maverick City.
Yep.
She's
so cool.
that girl's anointed. And I'm as best as I can as a husband. I'm trying to push her into more singing. So
yeah,
you will see more of her and
awesome.
hear more of her.
That's good.
Here in the near future. So
I love that. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So when would you say like walk me back in time? When did you feel like, okay, this is what I need to do. Like this is what God's called me to do.
Yeah.
And then how did that change what you were doing? Like talk to me about that point.
As far as like music.
Yeah. Like when did you know like this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life?
Man, I actually didn't know. But I had a hunger for it. And my thing is if I just kind of fed that hunger. And I said, if I'm gonna do this, I'm a shine a positive light on it. And God has blessed it. I was a basketball player and also a musician, so it was like one of the two had to work.
Right.
I had no plan B. And shout out to my friend Blackie. Blackie gave me this analogy. It was about the pirates. They would go, to conquer an island.
Yep.
And when they got on this island, they said, we're so serious about conquering and taking over this island, making it ours, that we're going to burn our boats with tar. There ain't no way back. So I looked at my music. I looked at my ministry. I looked at everything I was doing. I said, there's no plan B. It's all in. God, I'm trusting you. And God he's taking care of me. Of course, it's been rocky roads, but I burnt those boats, man.
Wow.
It's plan A, and we still on plan A.
There's no question God's given you a gift for what you do, and it's cool to watch and see. And that's an interesting analogy because it reminds me of the For King and Country song, Burn the Ships. And that just totally clicked something in my brain. Like that's probably what they're talking about. That's
probably what it is.
Like there's no plan B. I'm getting rid of everything in my past and I'm going towards this. Like, all right. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So what's been the most challenging thing for you being in this industry? You're obviously doing it for the right reasons, but what's been, would you say, the biggest challenge, doing what you do? Trying
to use discernment on who to connect with, because everybody doesn't have your best interests. And what I mean, bro, it's like, everybody wants to work, or everybody wants to connect now that they see motion, which is a tough thing. But
like they see you making a name for yourself, so now all of a sudden they want to talk.
Yeah, but it was the same. It was the same, and maybe God is dealing with me on this, but it was the same people I used to call, the same people I used to email, text. Like, can I just get a bit of a wee bit of information, just a
Yeah.
little bit, and those people kind of push to the side.
Mm.
It's one of those industries where okay, you can work with people, but discerning who is and what, and if it's just business,
Mm-hmm.
let's keep it just business. If
Yep.
if you want me to be a part of the family and what you got going on, let's incorporate the two. But
Mm-hmm.
trying to, yeah,
Trying to navigate all that.
yeah, and
Mm.
even if I can tell a listener out there, even on a Christian side of things, you still have to understand that some people are just in it for business,
Mm.
and some people aren't there to help you. Even on the Christian side, you got to kind of guard your heart.
Yep.
Um,
Discern well.
it can be super, not to say too much, but it can be super wicked, and,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to
Sure.
understand it. Yeah, discernment.
Because some people can even they'll put the Christian name on what they're
Yeah,
doing, but still have a selfish gain in
that's
mind
it.
as they move forward. And so, yeah, I can see
I
how,
ran into a lot of that where, and
which is
then
disappointing.
yeah, in the name of Jesus, people will still turn on you,
Hmm.
and it's like, bro, how are you using God's name to play your own
Right.
people? So
Right.
yeah, I'm learning to still love those people and
Mm-hmm.
have grace, of course, but also I'm guarding what God is doing over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we work with select people, but
Yep.
you know, but we discern and we pray before we actually go out and connect with those folks.
I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
love that.
Yeah.
I was earlier we were talking. I was asking you about your family and your
Yeah.
wife, and you got a 5-year-old.
Yes, sir.
And so I think he was in the was he the one that was recorded in the
That's it.
"We Outside" song
That's my
at the
boy.
end?
Yep.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So like, just tell me about like the family dynamic and how are you balancing the work that you're doing
Yeah.
with your family. I love seeing you incorporate
Yeah.
him into some of that, but just talk a little bit about that and how
Bro,
you're balancing that.
if I can be real, balance is always a never like a never ending thing. You always have to learn what balance is.
Yep.
It's kind of like a teeter totter. You feel like you're giving enough time to the family, and then work shows up.
Mm.
Now work is over here, now the family time. So while the teeter totter is high, you still, how we talked as
At
we
lunch,
grab
yeah.
lunch,
Yeah.
just the little things. We ate. Let's go bring wifey a 6-piece Parmesan from,
That's
like
right.
shout out to Baker.
That's right.
A 6-piece Parmesan back to the crib,
Yep.
and it's like as he was working, he thought of me.
Mhm.
I think it's a never ending like
Yeah.
figuring out balance, but
Yeah, 'cause I don't know
yeah,
about you, but, like, that's always a difficult thing for me, especially being, being the provider in your family,
yes,
being the
sir.
husband, like, always there's this delicate balance of, like, you want as much family time as you can get, but also understanding that the responsibility that you have to provide will naturally pull you away from that, and, like,
That's it.
that's you talk to so many people, like, that's the hardest thing for them is,
That's
like,
it.
knowing where those limits are, knowing when to say yes, when to say no,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes being able to say, I want to be home, but I have to be here for
Right.
this. And
I
so
got
like
to,
it's such a difficult
bro.
balance to do.
That's the tough part too. Like with the agency that I work with is like, yo, I told them, give me a week on and let me have a week off.
Mm.
It was a year I did 80 shows in 1 year, and we felt all 80 shows
Mm.
as far as body, as far as balance with family.
Right.
Um, and it's like, bro, yeah, families, yeah. Make sure you take that time.
Yeah. I like that you set that precedent kind of early on too,
Yeah.
because especially in your industry, I feel like you could just, if you wanted to, you could just flip the switch and just go
I can
and
just
just be doing
go.
it all and like leave everybody behind.
Yeah.
Like,
Straight bachelor
yeah,
mode, go
right.
crazy.
Right. So good for you for setting that
Yeah.
precedent. So,
Oh.
so you are not only a recording artist, but now you're Mr. Actor over
Yes,
here.
sir.
So talk to me about that. How'd that even come about? Like, how'd you start getting the acting scene?
Man, it must have been word of mouth. And I know, like I said, me and my wife were joking, sitting on the couch, and I'm like, man, I wonder what it'd be like being in a movie. She's like,
I think everybody's thought that at one time in their life, right?
you
Like,
know what I
what
mean?
if I was in a movie?
What
That'd
if
be
I was in a
sweet.
movie?
Yeah.
So I guess she did some praying. My wife is a very Let me get away. Let me fast. Let me go pray about it. Shout out to my wife. And shout out to Mama K too. That's her mom.
Okay.
Man, you feel like her and God are like this. Like Psalms 91. She prays it on our life. But back to the question. Yeah. So we were just joking. I think I had a friend named Matt. I think Matt Moore did it. Matt Moore must have put a bug in somebody's ear who was looking for a DJ for this movie part. He told this guy named Wally. Wally was the director of the film.
Okay.
So Wally must have looked me up, saw I was legit.
Mm-hmm.
Wally emailed me or he texted me, and I'm like, who is this?
Right.
Asking me about a film. He not only asked me to be in it as an actor,
Yep.
he asked me to take one of my songs and actually put it in the film.
How cool.
So a song got placed, and that's a sync. That's the sync we were talking.
Yeah.
Song got placed, and I'm actually in the film.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's
and
so cool.
yeah,
So this is film number 2, right? Like you've done one before.
This is film number 1.
Oh, it's film.
And
Okay,
then film number 2 was in Lansing.
Okay. That's coming up.
It's coming out here soon. It should be on Amazon, Tubi. The first one should be on Amazon Prime. It comes out soon.
What are the names in case anybody wants to watch
Yep.
them?
So they just changed the first one from Christine's Wager to Reason to Believe.
Reason to Believe. Okay. Okay.
And then this second one is called Change. Volume 2 is more of a documentary, story based, how God changed, in our lives over time. And
that's cool.
It's kind of it's good. It was good. The premiere was last night.
Okay.
So got to see that before it comes out. God is doing some amazing things, if I can say the least. And I'm just trying to take it all in. Some stuff doesn't make sense. I know being in Nashville too, man, I had that imposter syndrome too. Like, how did I get here? Am I supposed to be here?
Right.
My wife reminded me, Kevi, you right where he needs you to be. And people are watching. So as people are watching, I'm going to keep telling the same message. We can't do it without God. God is the way. He is the way maker. And he has me on this mission to cultivate culture. So I'm, kind of throw that in there.
I say that's a great transition point actually, because I want to talk to you about cultivate culture.
Yeah.
A little bit. So tell us a little bit about what that's all about. I think it's something that you started.
Yep.
And I've heard a little bit about it, but I'd love for everybody to hear about what you're doing.
Yeah. So in the pandemic, you remember everything was going on. It just was a lot of craziness.
Yep.
We had this idea to unify people. And we were unifying people. It started off as just merchandise. I'm like, yo, cultivate culture. That cultivate culture, it has to be bigger than just a brand. And when you look at the V's in cultivate culture, the V stands for victory. Because when we cultivate, it's a victory when we come together. And now we're branching off into more. How can we create avenues where people can be a part?
Yeah.
So cultivate culture has a non for profit now.
Yep.
We're about to start hosting shows. Yeah, all this.
Is that also a piece where you're going into the schools and you talk a little bit about that? Like, what are you doing in the schools?
Yep. So I go in there with a positive message. I travel with either it's me speaking, and I'm sharing my story, how God saved me, used hip hop, or I'm traveling with a guy named Brad.
Okay.
And Brad his story is one of those stories when you hear it, it's like it has you captive. So just kind of give you a little his story.
Yeah, please.
Brad was in an accident. He went to go get a summer job. And the summer job, like those 500-ton power presses that stamp on car parts.
Yep.
Man, he must have put the car parts in there. His friend Keenan must have hit the machine. And the machine had those laser where it knows to stop if hands are in there.
Yep.
The button must have didn't work. The laser focus thing must have didn't work. Smashed his hands.
Oh my goodness.
So he went from All-American football player, top tier football player, to I have no arms.
Oh my goodness.
So I get to travel, and his story is about finding a way through adversity.
Yeah.
So I'm the music piece
In a
on his
crazy way.
in a crazy way, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Believe it or not, Brad actually came back and started on the football team with no arms, out there crushing people, bro.
How do you do that?
There's video, and he was on ESPN. So
wow,
it's stories like that I get to travel and be a part. I'm a part of his unit. I'm the music piece of that. You know, and like when I say God is moving, bro, and I'm here for it.
I think you're placed in a prime time in life right now.
Yeah.
To where I don't know if you feel this or not, but it seems like there's a little bit of a culture shift that's moving at least back in some direction to God.
Yes, sir.
And I think our culture is moving that way in a sense. And the message that you're bringing, I think, just falls perfectly into that, to where you are primed to just share the gospel in a powerful way.
We're here for
and so I'm excited to see where you're going to go with all that, and how you're going to bring that to it. Tell us, is there any big projects you're working on right now that are up and coming? Tell us a little bit about that.
Man, so I just hit a deadline. The deadline is next week. I have an album, so you know, it's we're in March right now. I'm probably like 60 songs in right now. I've probably created 60. I make music every day.
That's for a lot of albums, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm planning on pushing out an album here in the future. I'll give y'all the drop on the date here soon. But I'm pushing out a project of, you know, what life was like, not only last year but the year before that. Compilation of songs I produced. And it's gonna. Yeah, I know people say this is like my best work. This is my work that you're gonna feel this. You're gonna feel happy. You're gonna want to worship. You're gonna want to smile. You're gonna want to show your grandma, tell the kids about it. Because like I said, we cultivating culture, and that looks like, from all angles. That's what we're.
Like, if it's anything like what you've done,
if
it's better than that, it's hard to believe, because
I'm gonna let you hear some stuff off air.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see that a sneak peek.
That's it. That's it.
So you're doing that. We're gonna have to check out the movies. I'm sure there's a bunch more we could get into, but I know we're short for time here. But before we get off, tell everybody where they can find your music, where they can find you, any socials, any stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Man, I'm always big on connecting with people direct. So I have a number, actually. You guys want to keep up with the tour, you want to keep up with the music, you can text 425-903-3194. I do respond to everybody. You can find me on social media at Kevi Morse, everywhere, all platforms. I'm not one of those artists or people who are too big in the sense of like I don't respond. I respond to everything I see, and I love connecting with people. So
I can attest to that, because every time I reached out to you, you always got.
I'm there. It's no.
I'm just a little guy in Sparta. So.
Nah, man. He's doing big things, man. This podcast, I'm speaking it right now on the podcast. It's going to be something that not only provides for your family, but it's going to be something that God blesses you with. You doing it, man. You took the leap, so keep this podcast going, man. I just want to speak a little life as well on air, man. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah. God bless you. Thank you, bro. Love you, bro. Thank you.
See ya.
Let's go.
Look at that stuff, huh?
That's good, man. That's good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's golden. Was it good, y'all?
How'd it sound?
CSX